Now, who in the world would have said this series was over? Certainly not the two of us. We never thought that this series would have been over.
This is going 7.
Yeah,
it's the best 2 out of 3.
We absolutely
piece of cake.
said that.
Oy vey, did we get this wrong. I figured there was no possible way that the bullpen would hold up. We knew that Zach Greinke wouldn't go. He didn't. 1 1/3. Somehow the bullpen put up goose eggs. And then we said, can the Astros at the top of the lineup, can they start hitting? First inning, Bregman goes deep. Then it was very, very quiet. And all of a sudden at the end, in the 9th inning, 7 runs. Tied for the most ever in a 9th inning in a postseason game. And they got it from the top of the lineup. And all of a sudden, while you were sleeping, 2 games Red Sox, 2 games Astros. We've got a 2 out of 3 series to go to the World Series with the Astros with home field advantage.
So in the 9th inning, the decision by Alex Cora, go to your ace, go to Nate Eovaldi. It didn't work out, but was it the right decision?
I love that decision. That's what you do in the postseason. On the throw day, and that's what Eovaldi is. He is pitching his bullpen, his in-between start bullpen in a game.
We're going to talk about that pitch in a second, by the way.
That pitch was strike 3, end of game, right? Okay, so here's what happens. Eovaldi goes in. The one thing you don't want when you're Alex Cora, please do not get deep into an inning. Get him through and then get him ready for his next start. But it just doesn't work out sometimes. He didn't get the benefit of a good call, and then he left the ball over the plate, and that was it. But then Martin Perez comes in, and obviously the wheels come off the wagon.
Yeah, so let's talk about that call, though. It looked like he had strike 3. It looked like he was out of that inning, tie ball game. And we've seen a few of them already this postseason. A blown call that extends the at-bat and completely, it doesn't just change this game, obviously, but completely alters the dynamic of the series.
So here's what I did as president of the Marlins. I'd get on my phone after a game like this, say, hey, Joe Torre. Now it's Michael Hill, the guy who was my president of baseball operations. Hey, what happened here? What happened with the umpires? You missed 17 calls. It cost us the game. Can we do anything? Can we do anything? Hello? Hello? Nothing you can do. For everybody complaining about the bad calls, you're right. Laz Diaz behind the plate was horrific today. And guess what it means? 2-2. There's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes it goes your way. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. Joe Torre taught me that many years ago.
Can you get Michael Hill on the phone right now, though? Maybe he can explain what happened at least, if it's not going to change.
Hold, please. Are we live? I will get him on the phone. You know what he'll say? Now that I'm not with the Marlins, I can talk to you.
All right, so listen, one of the reasons why we thought that this series was over is because the Astros simply were not getting any starting pitching, and they did not get starting pitching in Game 4. Like you said, Zach Greinke, only 1 1/3. This is a starting pitching staff that has hung its hat on Game 1 starter Framber Valdez going 2 2/3. That's the high bar that has been set. The bullpen was phenomenal in Game 4, but is it sustainable?
I cannot wait for my GM to come to me in the offseason and say, listen, I'm going to need $20 to $25 million to get some starting pitching. And I'm going to say, really? To go an inning or 2 innings? Why don't we get a bunch of guys throwing 98 out of the bullpen? Because every game is an opener. There's no more starting pitching, especially this late in the season when you really need it. Of course, you do need starters to get to the playoffs, but as we're seeing in October, if your bullpen can get you zeros, you have a chance to win a game, and today the Astros did. That's why these series, you just can't tell. Of course, we tell you on the cue that the Red Sox are going to win the series, because without starting pitching, that's how it should go. But up is down, down is up. It's 2-2. Can I say that again, Steve?
Say it one more time.
It's 2-2.
I don't know what you're talking about, by the way, saying we told them on the cue. We predicted this. We predicted it. That's how I remember it. Anyway, we're talking about the Astros bullpen. This is one of these little things that's not going to get a lot of publicity after this game, but could matter. So the Astros up 9-2. They go to their closer, Ryan Presley, because he was hot, because he was up, because it was a close game before. He throws 22 pitches. Yes, they get the win, but is that something that could have an impact now down the road as you look at the rest of this series?
You mean when they play tomorrow afternoon and they may actually have a close game?
Yeah.
But of course, there hasn't been a close game in this series, it feels like, where there hasn't had to have a closer. However, when you've got your closer up, this is what our managers would always tell us. Hey, he was hot. We got to get him in the game. We can't have him up and down and not in. And I always say, why would you say that? Just because he's hot, I don't want him in the game in a 9-2 game. Sit him down. We have a game tomorrow. Presti comes in, I'm holding my fingers, crossing them. Please, 1, 2, 3, throw strikes, 9-pitch inning. All of a sudden, you're at 15, 17. The pitching coach comes out. The owner and the president are pacing. The GM is getting his resume ready. And then Presti has to be ready to go tomorrow just in case. And he may have a little, ooh, my arm hurts. He should not have been in the game. That's a mistake by Dusty Baker, in my opinion.
All right, Jose Altuve, you mentioned it, those big three, and that's what we were talking about prior to the game, those three at the top of the lineup that had been struggling all series. Each of them come through in different moments. Bregman gets the scoring going in the first inning, and then we saw Brantley with the big hit to make the whole thing explode. But you know, Altuve's is probably the most important one, that home run in the 8th inning to tie the game.
I was trying to see on that pitch, when you get the scouting report on how to pitch to Altuve, you're told one thing only. Do not split the plate at a belt-high fastball. Just don't do that. Do anything else you want, but not that. Now, of course, Altuve, we're the same size, right? We're about, 6'4", so pitchers have to adjust to that. But that was obviously a critical home run. You're not going to sneak it past Altuve like that. And that becomes so important when you're looking at this series, getting that top of the lineup going, because then after that, if you can get anyone in the lineup to do anything, like a backup catcher maybe to get an RBI, then you know that's gravy. But without the top of the lineup firing on all cylinders, you just don't have a chance.
Since we nailed what was going to happen in Game 4, tell us what's going to happen in Game 5.
Well, I just got word from Michael Hill that I am starting for the Red Sox and Steve is starting for the Astros. But what I think is really going to happen is you're going to see a Game 1 redo. Chris Sale, can he even go 3 innings, 4 innings against Valdez, the Game 1 starters? It's going to be exactly like Game 1, where neither starter will factor into the game. It will be another battle of the bullpens, and your guess is as good as mine. But since I'm being paid, I'll tell you the Red Sox will rebound and take a 3-2 lead back into Houston.
Well, we thought this series was over, and baseball has a way of snapping you back into reality. We've got ourselves 2 series. We've got ourselves an NLCS and certainly an ALCS. Red Sox, Astros tied up at 2 apiece through 4. And the Red Sox had been up 2-1 because the bats had been phenomenal. Look at this. First 27 innings of the series, 27 runs, 33 hits. But they did not score after the first inning of Game 4. No runs, 4 hits.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.